Hello everybody, this is Zerda with Zerda MTG, and I'm back at it again with some more Blue-Black Flash in Historic. So, I've made no changes to the main board, but in the sideboard I have decided to go for 4 copies of Disfigure, and dropped all of the Moment of Craving, the 2 mana instant speed, -2/-2, and gain 2 life. Disfigure is just more relevant in more matchups, and it's something that we desperately kind of need in 1 mana removal. I'm somewhat tempted to move it into the main board, not entirely sure how I'm going to accommodate that right now, so that's why I haven't yet. It's also still dead in more matchups than our current removal is, so I'm going to be working on it, but I'm not sure exactly how or if I'm going to manage. I'm still only on 3 Slitherwisp, don't think the mana base can accommodate more. Haven't figured out a way to include more blue-black sources, what exactly I'd be cutting. Maybe I play Scrylands over Opts, but that seems a little bit iffy to me. So for now, we're keeping the main as it is. More and more I'm thinking I'm going to have to trim the Opts as much as I don't want to. Card selection can be kind of powerful, but it will be what it will be. And other than that, yeah. Actually, there's something else I should do. I should trim out the selective snare and replace it with either a Shark Typhoon or a Enticing Melody. Just something more likely to actually matter. I think I'm going to play the 4th copy of Shark Typhoon. In Teferi matchups, it seems like it's going to be pretty relevant. Just to get an instant speed threat down to kill a Teferi. And not have to worry as much about a Wrath. And that's how we're going to play it. So, let's go ahead and jump right on in to some big Flash gameplay. Sorry if you hear squeaking in the background, probably just some of the pets. Have a few rats in a rather nice enclosure. One day I plan to get a pet cam on them so that you'll have something or someone to watch if you get bored of the games of Magic going on your screen and feel like you just need that little bit of real life added. Well, wait for it to respond. There we go. Luis Salvato. Is it the Luis Salvato? That would be kind of nice. Let's see. I'll keep. Obviously not the best hand. That's a lot better, but also not something we necessarily needed to draw here. Alright, so I don't think we're gonna try and hide the black from him. I think trying to is just an effort in futility. So instead, we'll deploy and act as if we can, or play as if we can draw Slitherwisp that we might want to deploy next turn. Rejuvenator's fine. I'm not sure. I guess it'll depend on what I draw as to whether or not I Sea Dasher onto the Trickster. Opponent has a big mana advantage, and that is a very key draw there. Also means we're definitely not going to deploy on, because we want to hold up that negate in case of Circuitous Route or some kind of a sweeper. We sadly can't stop a Golos, but we will try to slow them down as much as we can, and there's the Circuitous Route. Decent draw, but not a great draw. They probably just chump here. Cast down also not great, doesn't hit Golos. Thinking of deploying Brazen is just a threat. No way to stop it, so we won't even try. Unsure if Maze's End or, what's it called? Field of the Dead. The better deck. Could also just deploy Sea Dasher as a creature and speed up the clock that way. I believe it's the same number of turns, because that's 4, and that's 4. Yeah, same turns, and I get to start drawing cards without going shields down later. Plus Brazen Borrowers can bounce individual zombies, so there we go. I will cycle Shark Typhoon if my opponent doesn't do anything, and if they only do one thing, I might still just do that. Now, if they do just one thing and it's not a problem, such as Shatter is, let's see. Can't do anything about Shatter. I could have 0 value cycled Shark, but I don't think that was worth it. Opponent can gain some life. Until they start making zombies, we don't care about their ramp anymore. Hero's not the closest to coming online. Is it 5 or 6? 5. Okay, so it is coming online next turn. Make a 3/3. Could have made a bigger creature later, but I want to get drawing. I'll have it come in tapped. Means I can't deploy double creature Brazen Borrower, but I think I'm going to have to bounce the Uro to their hand this turn anyway. No, I think I'd be more likely to Tyrant Scorn it and deploy a Brazen that's just a creature. Alright, absolutely. You have an Uro. Somewhat concerned. Oh, escape shift, okay. I think we just lose here. If I'd shocked, we'd have still lost, though. Alright, let's see what we can do. Let's see if they don't go all in. Pretty sure there's nothing we can do, though. They're gonna have way too many creatures. This is, gonna get out of hand really quickly. I think they're just counting. Oh boy. And what do you grab? Yeah, we're supposed to win on small edges. Not something we can do if our opponent escape shifts. We're supposed to try and counter that. I think it was still right to try and stop the circuitous route. Stop them from getting as far ahead as we possibly could. I'm just gonna see how many zombies they get here before conceding. Suppose I'll make them actually do it to us. Just move them aside, I'll help in a bit. And I suppose I should have scryed. There's nothing I'm really scrying for, though. There is just no out. Let's see if there was. No. That was just to see if they'd give us any more information. Alright, so... either gust, negate. Cast down pretty bad here. I imagine they'll have Teferis. Debating on Op versus Trickster. I think I just want more threats though. So let's see. Going in like this. Could Entrancing Melody for their Uro, but I think that's not exactly what we want to have our game plan against their Uro be. It's not a bad plan. I just think we're going to try and keep it off the board in other ways, and not try and spend 5 mana at sorcery speed and leave our shields down. Yeah, I think this is fine. Turn 1 Island Spectral Sailor, turn 2 probably deploy Trickster, hold up Negate for Wrath or Escape Shift. Depends on what the life total is. When I need to negate. If they play a Field of the Dead naturally, which is what I was worried about last game, I may consider negating even a circuitous route. Spend a turn here. Gonna assume that's just a growth spiral and deploy more pressure. Yep, Mystical Dispute is fine. Alright. Happy that our opponent is hurting themselves here. Slow them down as much as possible. And that can dig for some key spells. Also, if they want to use their Mystical Disputes here, more power to them. Here we're getting in. Probably going to start drawing cards. We want more than just one Negatus interaction. We will not be defending our Spectral Sailor from any kind of removal, however. Negate is just too important for that small of a role. So, opponent is deep in the tank. It's a nice land. Alright. Make it zero. Activate Sailor. Alright, they growth spiral. That is fine. Draw a land. not great. Shark Typhoon is okay. Leaving up mana for the biggest Shark Typhoon possible each turn. Making the shark next turn isn't any faster than making it this turn. But that is in fact a problem. Because that's going to be in addition to their Uro. And that's not something we can Heartless Act. Should have had this on our radar. We could potentially draw one of our few Mystical Disputes. I think it's worth risking not, because we can't attack in otherwise. Nope, just another land. Alright. Ooh, and a Field of the Dead. We're in big trouble here. We can remove 3 counters from their Crisis. So this is weird. But the answer almost feels like it might be Shark Typhoon and making a lot of small creatures. Try to draw some kind of removal spell. That seems better. Problem is our opponent has inevitability already. So we have to really be careful about this. And activating here means that we think the best chance we have is continuing to attack. Casting means we think we can grind out. I suppose waiting and activating means we hope we draw something better soon. And I think that is honestly our best option. Because if we plan on drawing removal spells and winning that way, then when we activate the Sailor matters less. They have the mana, but we could draw Syncopate. No, Syncopate doesn't do it. My bad. Didn't much matter. I do still think the Shark Typhoon will be a very important role player in this game, so I'm not going to use it yet to just keep digging for a removal spell. No blocks. Suppose I should have Heartless Acted with the draw trigger on the stack. So that's one part of this. That is another, although it's not quite where it needs to be yet, and we need removal this turn. Alright, not bad. This will not be blocking. Maybe I should have just done it there. This is kind of risky. Alright, now things are getting really dark for us really fast. And we do in fact have to bounce the Crisis. It's not something we want to do, it's just something we're pressed into.
Let's slow this down.
We're dead if we don't. Yeah, recasting probably was their best bet. Best line.
Here we go.
The Teferi makes this all somehow even worse. Wasn't sure it could get worse, but it somehow did. Second 0 value Shark Typhoon. And declare a futile attack. No blocks. Let's not prolong this any more than we already have. And allow them to style on us if they wish. Only gonna get in 1 or 2 more matches for you guys today. Not planning on doing a long video this time around. I'll do 1 more traditional, and then I'll, I suppose, do 1 best of 1. So, looks like the Escape Shift deck, pretty good against us. Could also just be we played against a great player. I imagine playing against really good people is also a bad matchup. Zorlandu. Playing against a diamond. Opponent on the play, I'll keep this anyway. Spectral Sailor into Syncopate. Still fast enough to hit a Teferi, unless they're a Llanowar Elves Teferi deck. Now, when I said that, I didn't assume they would actually play both of them in the same deck. So I'm just gonna assume this is just a Llanowar Elves deck and not actually a Llanowar Teferi. That'd be terrifying. We'll trade. Keep you off your 4 drops for an extra turn. How many Burning Trees is this? Alright. Could be worse. Opponent thinking. Take the life. Opt looking for a threat or some kind of removal spell. Not exactly the threat I want, but I will take it. There is a world I could see where we just see Dasher in combat, but I think that's a pretty bad line. I think it's more likely we just take any damage that comes our way this turn, Mystical Dispute, whatever threat, and then try and deploy next turn. Could also see a world where our opponent tries to sit back on what they have. I think I'll deploy Sea Dasher, and depending on our draw step, we might just use it to attack. If we draw removal, we'll just attack with Sea Dasher. Opponent in the tank about it resolving. that coming. Yeah. So this coming turn, very crucial. Need to draw something or we are actually dead. Mystical Dispute. And that does it. So, we're gonna want the Disfigures and an Entrancing Melody. We're gonna want to trim but not cut all Heartless Axe. Actually, we can't trim on Heartless Act in this matchup. So we'll trim on Negates instead. And add an Aether Gust. Trim. Because I guarantee they have Questing Beast, but this just isn't good against their small creatures. I guess Disfigure is. Shark Typhoon's gonna be cut. Ops are gonna be cut. I'll play the last Disfigure, try and keep up on their mana game. Actually. I'm tempted to cut it, but at the same time, yeah, I think trying to play the counterspell game is going to be a losing battle. But we do still want some. Alright. We don't mind drawing basically one Mystical Dispute, especially on the play. Play first. Not the best hand, but as long as Sea Dasher connects and draws us anything, it shouldn't be the worst either. Don't have a Disfigure for turn 1 Elves, which is unfortunate. Although at least our 1-drop evolved before theirs. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make the greedy play that gets blown out by Bone Crusher Giant. I'm gonna attempt to get to drawing our cards as fast as possible. This also lets them deploy a bigger threat this turn as opposed to if we had just hit them for 1 and bounced their Lawn War Elves to set them back on tempo. Well, that's interesting. What do we draw? I'd hoped for a Disfigure. Disfigure would have allowed us to kill off both elves. As it stands, I'll let them be. Brazen Borrower is going to be pretty good this matchup, and I'd rather deploy Brineborn this turn. Although now that I've seen the Burning Tree, I can be convinced that was wrong. I'll no longer be considering just deploying a 3/1 flyer. Rule Spellbreaker. Well, nothing I can do about it, so it resolves. Rather have. We'll take 3. Well, 6, I suppose. We're just not going to kill the Felt Collector yet. Play an island. Attack with our Sea Dasher. And while we can, we will Heartless Act their Rule Spellbreaker, using the correct mode. opponent tanking. We don't quite have Gulta mana. Is fine. Brazen Bar will bounce the Pulp Collector. And we will not block, so it'll be a better blocker next turn. It's pretty good. I suppose I should be waiting to see what I draw before I deploy, but either way. So this turn might just be Slitherwisp, Sea Dasher onto the Brineborn. Put the Sea Dasher over the Brineborn, and it'll be able to eat basically whatever they swing in with. And then if we untap with a Slitherwisp, obviously, we get even more card advantage than we've already got. It was risky letting the Elf stay around, but I think it was the right call in the end. They'd have been able to deploy this all pretty quickly anyway with their Burning Tree. Again, maybe this turn is just Mystical Dispute plus Cast Down. Oh, that is fine. We do not mind a Stone Coil Serpent. I think we'll hold the Dispute or the Brazen Borrower for Ghalta. Opponent very deep in the tank. I don't blame them. This is a difficult turn for them. I have a lot of mana open. I've drawn a lot of cards with Sea Dasher. And they have to be sure their threats, or at least as many as they can, assure live. If I lose the Brineborn now, I'm not too concerned. No, I was pretty sure that was going to be a stomp. I suppose they would have used it on the Slitherwisp or the other Sea Dasher by now. It's just what that attack was saying to me. Does have reach. That's fine. Oh, forgot to play my land. Oops. So if I can't hard cast a Brazen plus Dispute here, then you know it is, in fact, my fault from poor play. Let's see. Maybe I should have just cast down the Stone Coil instead of letting my opponent choose. Spellbreaker's fine. I'll bounce the Pelt Collector again. Can't kill that. This is gonna block something. What am I cast downing, and am I cast downing? So that goes there. I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'll cast down the Zerta Goblin. Eat the Gruul Spellbreaker. There we go. And we win. They have no blockers. We deploy a flash threat. There we go. So, slight hiccup there, but still ended up being fine. Dispute, though. I feel like I just want it to be the last Heartless Act. There are a lot of cards that it can't kill. There are a lot of cards that it can kill. Pretty heavy on removal that way, though. I guess Dispute only kind of functions as removal anyway. So I'm trading the kind of versatility the Heartless Act is. It will no longer, as opposed to Dispute in terms of removal, it'll no longer be able to hit absolutely anything, but it will be able to, and this is a fine hand, it'll be able to hit things after they've been played. And this hand's a lot better with this being a Heartless Act than a Dispute. It's fun. We need to clock our opponent too. Hopefully they don't Spellbreaker, because I'd like to Brandborn this turn. I think anything short of Spellbreaker, although if they're just deploying it like that, I'm fine. I'm fine with just a 4/4. It's great. It isn't the end of the world. It's also unfortunate that it means Heartless Act isn't going to do very much. Suppose I'll have to accept that though. These early turns are going to be the riskiest, because I need this Brindborn to grow to defend my position of letting the Spellbreaker come down. I have to take this hit for 7. And I'm going to go ahead and cast down the Zertal, because I can't afford to just keep the Brindborn Cutthroat that small. So Bone Crusher Giant eats it. That was a concern, but nothing I can do about it. Not about to block their Spellbreaker with my Sailor when it, I'm pretty sure, yep, has Trample. So it was pretty greedy there, but I think it was pretty good if it worked out in the long run and they only have Bone Crusher as this removal, given they still have Amori as companion. So I didn't have to look out for anything else. Decided to play the odds and got punished. But you've seen it work out for me in the past doing it that way, so you know it's not just a straight up misplay, just a miscalculation. Not even that, just unfortunate. And here we will syncopate to use our mana efficiently. Though it's not getting us ahead, only stopping us from falling further behind. Oof, another Heartless Act. Alright, so we're gonna have to 2-for-1 ourselves here. But it's 100% worth it. To get that off the board. So our opponents gained card advantage twice this match. Once right there, when I had to 2-for-1 myself. And the last time. Okay. When they Bone Crushed. So this tramples. It doesn't trample. I think it not trampling. No matter what I have to activate here. Alas. So my line is pretty scripted. I have to block the Questing Beast with my Spectral Sailor, disfigure the Pulp Collector, in response to whatever they try and do. Want to keep them in the dark as long as possible though. Pretty sure that's actually just game though. Let's see if they remember to activate. They will, but let's see. Have it. Not doing so hot today. But like I said, I'm not going to do this for too long today. So I'm just going to go ahead and play one best of one now. And see how that goes. Maybe I'll play something flashier for you. I don't think I have anything like that though. So, last game with Dimmir Flash. Opponent goes first. Yeah, we're fine with this. Raise and borrow for a little bit of interaction. Ho ho ho. Alright. Oh, this is really bad. Alright, our opponent has 4 mana turn 2 if they make a land drop. Alright, I believe that's an Ulamog, right? No? That's terrible. No, it's 1 mana off with an Ulamog. Alright. Whew. Okay. Listen, no. That's a real threat. I want to wait for them to use the Incubation Druid before I kill it with Tyrant Scorn. Make no mistake though, we're in a horrible position here. Our opponent gets to start putting out 3 counters a turn. That Syncopate is not going to do anything. We're not going to attack. their upkeep. That resolves. Bounce. The ley line. And to make sure they don't get more mana than we want them to have, also kill their incubation group. Nissa. Alright, that was about the worst thing that could have happened to us.
Cannot protect itself. Harness the elements.
Please, tap out. Not quite a tap out, but good enough. Okay. Well, have to attack that.
Enough.
Yeah, I think we're gonna play Slitherwisp next turn. Because we have lost the battle on keeping important cards off the field. So now we need to deploy our own important cards. They get to plus and then pump their team. It's going to be really bad. Especially because they can do it in combat. Actually, we might have to deploy Brazen Borrower here.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Yep. So, how do you do this, opponent? They have the mana to do it again, and go for one more pump. And I think they will. 10 damage is an absurd amount. No? Okay. In that case, as much as I really want to deploy that Slitherwisp, I have to deploy Brazen Borrower. Because allowing the Nissa to go unchecked is not a winning strategy. That Syncopate is just going to be dead this entire game. Yes, that is fine. It's only fine because we cannot stop.
Fight on without me.
Have to shock here. Need to be able to Slitherwisp plus. The plus will probably be a Trickster. So Slitherwisp plus Trickster tap down one of their forests. I think I'm tempted to just let Brian trade with the forest if they'd offered it. Heartless Act is a card that exists, I suppose. Okay. We'll cast the rest of them during our opponent's turn. Alright. Heartless Act still gonna be okay here. Removing 3 counters will allow us to eat something our opponent didn't think we'd be able to in combat. We'll also Sea Dasher onto the Brazen again, because we need to keep drawing cards. And we'll do it before we make any decisions on exactly what we're doing. could draw something that changes everything. Or do we go into the Brineborn? No, we need to keep drawing cards. Under. Block, wait for them to pump to remove. There we go. And please do note, this still isn't a great place. Here, no, that was definitely a mistake. Should have hit the other one. Opponent has conceded. Alright. We definitely did not have it there, but we'll take it anyway. I guess they didn't want us drawing that many cards. Well, as I said earlier, that will be the end of the video. I'm glad you all watched. I hope you enjoyed, and please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and would mean a lot. So, until next time, please have a nice day.